Welcome back to this week's video. I'm here on my local turf of Kilgarvan and I'm with Minister Michael Healy-Rae. Michael, how are you?
Glyn, I'm very glad to be here because we're here in my place, and the last place I ever am usually is in my own place.
Yeah, because we're on the road so much.
So this is a plantation that I planted many years ago, maybe 25 years ago.
Yes.
And so didn't often I get to come here myself.
Yes.
But even though I'm here as often as I can, but I'd be blowing the yard and not coming walk up through the forest.
So so you're well aware of videos. We go to different farms are showing different aspects of farming. So this is a forestry focused one.
Yes.
You're a Minister for Horticultural, Farm Safety and most importantly for us, Forestry. Mm-hmm. So you are a forestry owner.
Yes.
And I'm a forestry owner, and I suppose what I want to get through this video is there's a lot of people who have forestry and a lot of people who don't have forestry but are looking to get into it.
Yes.
I want to get as much information on you today now as possible for them people, the questions. So what are the benefits of forestry? We'll start off with so straight away.
Well, I'd like to focus, because that you're a young man and a young farmer, I'd like to focus for a minute on young people.
Yes.
And what I'd like to say is that if you have a person who's like Glyn Egan, who's doing it could be sheep, it could be fattening cattle, it could be a person, maybe for instance, dairying, right? Even dairying, where every blade of grass is so important, right? But at the same time then, you'd have marginal land or land that might be suited towards not just ordinary forestry, but it could be agroforestry, right? It could be one of the different schemes that we have now, because people think automatically when they think of forestry, they think of something like this.
Yeah.
And like, if you look in there at that now, I mean, this is doing great.
And
it's fine.
But when you said you were a young man, you were a young man too when you planted this too, I
was. And little did I think that I was going to be in the actual department then.
Yeah.
And a number of years ago then I bought another forestry from a neighbour.
Yes.
And so I believe in forestry.
Yeah.
It's very hard if you were trying to tell other people that they should maybe look at something.
Yeah.
It's very hard if we're not have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like being a Minister for Agriculture. I mean, I like our senior Minister for Agriculture because when he goes home, he's going home to his own farm, right? Yeah. And he's making a living out of farming.
So and he understands it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like if you were a Minister for Tourism or something, isn't it great that you might have been involved in hospitality yourself? Yeah. But there are big advantages. And I mean, like, you've agroforestry, you've mixed high forest with Sitka spruce, you've native forests. So like, we've different, types of ways, and I'll be blunt about this.
Go on,
I'll be very hardcore about it. Different ways that you as a farmer can make money.
Yes.
And like, I'm all for the environment. Yes. I'm all for the protection of our waterways, keeping things right, having everything right to pass on to the next generation. Yeah. But what I really want to do in this job, I want to put money into people's pockets.
Well, we definitely want to hear that, innit?
Yes, and I'm so adamant, and I have a budget for it.
Yeah.
And I have an excellent staff working inside in the department. We have an excellent head of forestry and all of the different people. And all we want to do is explain to people that use your land, like agroforestry is a great thing because you can keep our BISS and CRISS.
So I'm going to be, after this clip now, when we're going to be talking, I'm going to be going to Conor Daly, who's with the forestry company. Yes. There's a portion of our land. Well, we'd call it fields. Some people wouldn't call it fields. They'd be our rougher fields in the backside of the farm near Cumullica. You know it well.
My grandmother came from that.
She did. There's parts of it dryish, there's parts of it wettish, and we're trying to get rid of the rush. Pockets were good, but my father and myself were talking about, we were thinking of doing the agroforestry there's a few hectares there, and a lot of people who did the agro, they said it actually dries up. Trees obviously need water.
They do.
They actually dry up fields and sheep can still graze. So what is agro? Could you explain?
Agroforestry is where, I don't know whether your picture could see this, you would have trees growing in the middle of your green ground. It could be green ground like that, but you can still graze it. And when I say graze it, I mean cattle can graze it, sheep can graze it. You could actually line it out in such a way that you could still cut silage there.
I was at a farm in West Cork when I was in the farm college, and we actually went out and they were cutting silage and so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's completely alien to people that think, oh, sure, when I plant forestry, I could only walk through it. Well, you actually could still cut silage there. And there's something very good about, everybody will tell you this, about animals grazing in a place where there's especially native timber like that.
Yeah,
And you see, you have to protect the trees, but like you're grant-aided for all of that.
So yeah,
so the
are you out of
fencing-
any, is the farmer out of any pocket before he's, before he gets premiums?
He's into money because
he's into money,
he's
alright.
getting his place fenced.
Okay.
He's getting the money for the contractor to plant the trees, to buy the plants, to fertilize them, to put the protective the thing around it to stop any wildlife.
Stop the deer and thing or sheep,
So you finish up with an asset value added. You know, it's like...
So you're, the farmer's not out of pocket in it?
Not out of pocket.
Okay.
And all he can be looking forward to then is a tax-free premium, which is very substantial.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a win-win. And in the future, like, timber is going to always be a valuable commodity.
Yeah.
And it's like stocks and shares. The price of timber can go up, it can go down. But like, if we look at, and I mean, if we just look at any tree standing, right? And if we only look at a tree like this, right? Like, that timber is worth money because we're talking about building houses.
Yeah.
Where are we going to get the timber from? Isn't it a fine thing to see a tree being grown here, cut here, taken, we'll say here, the nearest sawmills will be Grangers, right?
Yeah.
And to see it being taken over there, turned into a product that we can use in our construction, we can export, which we export an awful lot of our timber.
Keep it within Ireland.
Exactly. So the farmer gets his money for growing it.
Yeah.
And then, in time to come, if I'll be alive or whatever the case will be, this place will be replanted and it'll be another crop for the younger generation.
So every payment, just make it clear for people watching, every payment you get for your forestry is tax-free.
100%. And then when you sell your timber, so if you sell this timber tomorrow, and whatever you will get paid for your product, it is income tax-free.
All into your pocket, so.
Exactly, it's tax-free income.
Oh, Mike, this is your own farm here in Kilgarvan, and look, I'm going to put up the drone in the sky there. So this is known as the Bog Road up here, is it?
Yes. It's not called the Bog Road for nothing.
Yes. Why did you plant so? Is it marginal land, this place?
It is, and what I did was I kept a bit that I would have wanted for just what we call ordinary farming.
Yeah.
But then places like, if we look at the ground here, do you know, to be fair about it.
This land here now is nearly the carbon copy of what we have above that your late father advised us to plant, and it's doing very well. And like you were saying, it brought in great money over nearly the last 20 years. The 20 years nearly up now. And what age do they cut down the timber at? Usually 35, 40?
It could be depending on your ground.
Yeah.
It could be 25, it could be 30, it could be 35.
Yeah.
But always remember, it's in the last number of years that timber puts on its weight. I often get people saying to me that after maybe 25 or 30 years, they'd say, oh yes, do you know, I'm ready now to cut. And I'd send in a proper forester and he'd look at it or she'd look at it.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the earning potential of it. And the big thing, the big message that I have, especially again coming back to young people like you who are actively farming, it doesn't mean to say, oh, you're retiring, you're running away from farming. I'm telling you, you can keep your BISS, you can keep your CRISS payments. My job before politics is a digger driver. And I was away a lot. And it suited me better to keep my farming, what we'd call small, and to use a big amount of ground. Because I saw it as a long-term investment, a tax-free investment. I was entitled to my premiums every year for the 20 years.
And it's coming on well, as we can see behind you.
It is. It's coming on great. And that's the reason it suited me. So every person, every farmer who owns land, they have to think about it. What suits them? And think about the money. Think about the time it frees you up. We had a very good man at the meeting the last night in Killarney at one of our Let's Talk trees, which are going on around the country. We had a man called Mike Fleming. Mike Fleming is a digger driver.
Spoke very well,
Yes, an excellent man. He works in forestries, he makes roads, he plants, but he planted for himself. What it meant to him was, rather than being at home, seeing after his farming, he was able to go off on the road and make his living.
His day job,
And at the same time, he was using his farm, and he still kept cattle throughout all those years. So everybody can do that if that's what they wish. And in many cases, you can continue to get farm payments, depending on what type of forestry you do and your own individual setup.
So you can draw your premiums for the forestry, and you can get some farm payments as well.
Correct. And again, the advisors would give you excellent advice on that. And we're very, very fortunate in Ireland that we have highly reputable, good forestry advisors and foresters that go around the country. Every area has their own people covering their own regions, and you'll get great advice from them. Free advice, because they want you to plant.
The process of going about it, is it quick or is it?
Well, no, it's quick enough because we have the licenses. The licensing system is very streamlined now, and we're getting out the licenses because you have to make an application. Again, you do that through a registered forester. They'd give you advice. You'd go away to the department, put in your application, and we've started 2 times of the year for planting, the fall of the year and the start of the year. People aren't inclined to plant in the height of the summer, obviously, because you don't want plants going to the ground when it might be too dry. Being too dry is not a problem we'd have in Ireland a lot.
No, exactly.
But no, and like there's great support.
But there's a lot of grants from the fencing.
Oh, there is.
To everything.
There is. Like you don't, once you would decide to plant a forestry, you don't have to put any capital investment into it.
Okay.
Nothing, zero. Like your land would get fenced.
And you can get people in. You don't have to do no work yourself.
Not at all.
Okay.
And you'd get we've excellent contractors, excellent diggermen, people who plant the trees, put out the fertilizer for you, and that would be 100% covered. So it's great.
I suppose there's a lot of people who've inherited farms, and I suppose they have no interest in farms, and if the land is poor, it is a no-brainer, I suppose, to plant these land.
It's a very good option for them.
You know, and you're getting money in tax-free.
And if you are worried about tax, it's very few things you can go at in life that are tax-free. Income tax-free.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, Mike, in the next 10 years, I suppose we'll be looking at clear filling and taking the wood out.
Yes.
But I suppose the next question is, we're not next to our major road, we're upland. And we're a good bit back from the road, is saying that. How will I get the timber out?
Absolutely no problem in the world, because you'll go to the department, you'll put in an application for a forestry road. That'll be grant aided, a very substantial grant. And it'll give you some money to make the road in and to put in a turning table so that the haulage contractor will be able to drive into the forest. So even though inaccessible places like this, the grants are there to make the road in, and which is an awful valuable thing for yourself afterwards. Do not have a road in your land.
For axing for animals or anything across the farm.
It is like these people who put in turbines up on the side of their hills, and all of a sudden their hill becomes a very attractive place because they can drive up there in a motor car.
Our hill above with the windmills, we can nearly drive a car up there now, like, and the height of it. But it's been great for feeding sheep or anything. So
for everything.
Same with the forestry.
And it is no more than everything. Access to anything is so important. And if you can't access something, sure, you can't do anything there.
No, you have to have the access.
So the money that we have for the grant aid for the roads is brilliant.
So what you're saying is there's plenty of money for the farmers, so for the forestry.
There is, and my message to farmers, to landowners, is if you want to make money out of your land, talk trees.
And if you don't have any interest in farming and you want to keep the land still, trees is a good option as well.
It is, and if you're really a dedicated, interested farmer, you can still make money out of timber and not interfere with your current farming practices. That's the big important message. And every one of us are only going to live for so long. And like, you try and make every bit of money you can out of your land while you have it, and have it in good shape then to pass on to the next generation. And what is better than planting trees, because it's a renewable source of timber for our construction. We can export what we don't need for ourselves. We can make boards out of it, like we're doing already.
Tis an investment, tis an asset, or tis a pension. You can look at it in so many different ways.